Hello, fans of all ages. We are indeed the Beasts of the East. Sorry about that. Ryan Morick and Scott Thompson. I got it this time. Ryan Morick. Not Ryan and Morick. Ryan Morick and Scott Thompson with you on WRPR 90.3 FM on this Wednesday, September 23rd, 2015. And before we get started, we have a guest with us in the studio, Randy Zellea. He graduated from Ramapo College in 2003.
Yeah, I'm an old man.
No, you're not that.
Yeah, listen, I don't want to say that I'm old. My social security number is in single digits, but that's just, Yeah, I graduated here in 2003, and it's weird to be back in a place that I called home for a long time here, which is WRPR, but I'm very interested to see how you guys are doing, and it's cool to be on a sports show on WRPR. We didn't have a lot of those when I was here, so this is really cool. So thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, welcome back. Randy is the founder of Back Sports Page, so you can check out his website. You can also check out his podcast. He's had tons of special guests. He's had Mike Greenberg. He's had Chris Jericho. He's had Iron Eagle. So Randy knows what he's talking about. He's a very nice guy. He's helping Scott and I out a lot. So we're very thankful to have you here, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
I like how you say that I know what I'm talking about. That, or I pretend very well that I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Mine.
You can sell it very well when you need to. You know what I mean?
First things first, the sad news of the day. Yankee great Yogi Berra died last night at the age of 90. 10-time world champion, and he appeared in the World Series 14 times, 3-time MVP, 18-time All-Star. This guy is on some people's Mount Rushmore of New York Yankees, and he is really the last of the DiMaggio mantle. He's one of the last ones to go, and waking up this morning to that news was very difficult. This guy is stuck around with the New York Yankees, besides that hiatus where he kind of had like a self-imposed ban on the Yankees with whatever. But other than that, this guy was a baseball lifer, one of the smartest men in baseball, the philosopher, and a big loss for the Yankee family and the baseball family today.
Yeah, he was just a really well-liked man in general. I don't think it was just baseball. Just people loved Yogi Berra for the man that he was. You can see articles from CNN to MSNBC. They all wrote about him today. It's all over the place. So Yogi Berra was definitely a man that everybody loved.
Randy, I know you had the opportunity to meet Yogi Berra. Do you have any stories?
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to meet him twice. The first time I met him was at the Yogi Berra Museum. He also had where the Jersey Jackals play over by Montclair. That's his field. So I was there when they first opened that field, and he was one of the most gracious people I think you're ever going to meet in life. You know what I mean? That's just one of those things where nobody has anything bad to say about him. And I think when you have that type of personality and that type of figure, like you look around sports right now, there's some great athletes, but sometimes they'll say bad things about them. Like Jeter is one of those guys that no one's ever really said anything bad about him, except even the anti-Yankee fans can't say anything bad about Jeter.
Right.
Okay? So Yogi was one of those guys. He's that generation Yankee. Like Maris was the guy who broke the home run record. But Yankee fans at that time, I don't know if you ever saw the movie 61.
No.
Okay.
Oh, great movie. You have to watch it.
Yeah, okay. Like, that's your mission for you to talk to me next week.
All right.
You have to watch that movie. Okay? Yeah, like, you will be banned from your own radio program if you don't watch that movie next week, okay? So, like, Roger Maris broke the home run record, but was booed by Yankee fans because he wasn't a homegrown guy.
Right.
Yogi was a homegrown Yankee. So to answer your question, the first experience I had meeting him, he's so... such a noble person and such a, he's so thankful for everything. Yeah. He appreciates everything. I'm trying to get the word in my head, but like he's just such
very grateful.
Grateful, yeah. He's so grateful. He doesn't take anything for granted. There it is.
Right.
Doesn't take anything for granted, and he was such a good guy. The second time I had the pleasure of meeting him was at Yankee Stadium. I got to cover on Old Timers Day, and when I met him, I think it was like 87. 88. Right. He was 87 years old, and I personally felt what I didn't like about that was the fact that every single year you feel like they're just throwing him on the cart and wheeling him out and letting him wave. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, like we know we don't have to keep going over his resume on how great he is. I love the fact that he still kept in contact with the Yankees. He was such a big part of a New York Yankees organization. And he was always in Montclair. He lived in Montclair. He was going to the same coffee shop every single day. He would they would charge him 50 cents for a cup of coffee every single day. Like I'm not kidding. This is the absolute truth. He'd go into the same coffee shop every single day, and it'd be 50 cents. Charge everybody else $2.50 for a cup of coffee. Him 50 cents because it's Yogi Berra. And Yogi would be like, I'm not letting you not charge me for this.
Right.
So I was there when and I know this because I saw that, with my own 2 eyes. So it's a tremendous loss for the Yankee organization. Another one of their great ambassadors is now gone. I love the aura of the Yankees because it's one of the most historic franchises in sports. And I think it's one of the only organizations, and you guys are a little younger, so you guys grew up with the winning mentality. Like, what year were you guys born?
95.
95, yeah.
Okay, first off, I'm old. Second of all, okay, like I remember when this run started back in 94, right before the lockout or the strike, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Okay, I was 14 years old. Now I'm really giving away how old I am. And back in 1994, when Paul O'Neill was chasing the batting title, the Yankee organization, that was the first year. You have to understand, the Yankees organization went through a tough period of time where they were one of the worst teams in baseball.
Right.
The only reason to go see that team was Don Mattingly League, and I remember that time. So again, I'm showing my age, and Yogi was still one of the faces of the franchise and constantly showing, being around the team and trying to lift the spirit. So it shows a lot about his personality, and he's going to be missed. And there's nothing else you really can say about that. Like you said before, there was so many different stories, Time Magazine, ESPN, all these different places picking up the stories. There's nothing bad you can say about Yogi Berra. And, his family made a statement, there's nothing else to say because it all has been said already.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
And real quick, Yogi Berra, reminder, he fought in World War II. He was in the Normandy invasion, so not even a Yankee hero, but an American hero, a Purple Heart recipient. This guy, we all wish we can live an eighth of what this man lived. What an unbelievable life he lived, and can't forget about the Yogi-isms. It ain't over till it's over.
Oh, God, one of the best quotes ever.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, God.
Yeah. When there's a fork in the road, Scott, when there's a fork in the road, take it.
Take it. It's deja vu all over again.
That's great.
It's my dad's favorite. What else? What else we got?
I take a 2-hour nap from 1 to 4.
From 1 to 4.
All right, he was never he wasn't very, well, he dropped out of school at the age of 15. A lot of people don't know.
Okay.
What's the other one? 90% of the game is half mental.
That was a line that was in 61. I was that's a great, again. So what, besides Yogi being a legend, we now know, Ryan, that you are not allowed on the air next week
until I watch 61.
I'm going to bring 61 tomorrow for you.
There are a lot of baseball movies, sports movies in general, that I've never seen before that I'm actually ashamed. We're not going to get into that because I don't want to admit to the movies that I've never watched. I'll tell you off the air.
We're going to talk about that.
I'll tell you off the air. I'm telling you off the air.
This is happening.
All right, you really want me to tell you?
No, we'll save it for the end of the show.
All right, fine.
Okay, but this is actually going to happen because at one point I think you're going to start naming movies. I'm going to be so frustrated. I'm going to bang my head against this so I can knock myself out.
You know a couple movies that I haven't seen.
Like.
Oh, well, wait.
Wait.
It's bad. Randy, it's bad.
Okay, it is bad.
Okay,
it's bad.
We're going to go back to this. Okay.
All right.
Anyway.
But let's move forward because I know there's a lot of stuff we're trying to jam in.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. But yeah, real quick, our condolences to the Berra family. We're glad that Yogi is finally reunited with Carmen, who passed away earlier this year, I believe it was. So Yogi Berra passes away at the age of 90. A Yankee great. And speaking of Yogi Berra, I think the ghost of Yogi Berra helped out a lot. Greg Bird, the game-winning 3-run home run. Yogi's not done yet. It's the ghost of the Yankees. I swear they come back.
The love affair is on.
I'm wearing a Yankee hat, a Joe DiMaggio jersey. I have my Yankee watch on right now. Randy comes in the studio looking at me like I have 9 heads. Like,
Well, yeah, because like here's what I see when I walk in. I see the Yankee hat, the Yankee jersey, and it's
my laptop cover.
He's got the laptop cover. I'm like, okay, he's the jersey, the hat. He's a proud Yankee fan. Okay, we're going a little too far with the laptop cover. But that's not fair though, because on my show though, I'm sitting here saying go to NFLshop.com and get everything with your team logo on it. So here I am promoting it, and you're doing it, and I'm sitting there going, I can't even get mad at him. I can't even get mad.
You haven't seen his room yet, too. So that's just another story.
It's not like candles with Derek Jeter.
No.
I do have my Jeter jersey hung up, and I have his the letter that he posted on Facebook when he announced his retirement. I printed it out and have it hung up in my room. And in my room at home, I have a big fat head of him.
You didn't do like the whole like Boys to Men, It's So Hard to Say Goodbye song on his last home game, did you?
No, but I did cry my eyes out at his last home game.
Well, that was awesome because that last home game was awesome. I know you were talking about this is the anniversary of his last home
Friday.
game. Or Friday. This Friday's, look, Jeter, there's no, and look, it shows how special of a player is that we're still talking about this a year later.
Yeah.
The effect that Derek Jeter still had on the Yankees. It's funny, before I walked in here, I was on the phone with my co-host he's my part-time co-host. He calls in for my podcast every once in a while. And we were talking about how the Yankees weren't even supposed to be in this position this year.
Right.
Okay, like, they're overachieving, and me personally, and this is me coming as a Yankee fan, they're doing a lot of this with smoke and mirrors. Okay, like you're getting great years out of Teixeira and A-Rod. You're getting offense in places that you weren't supposed to be getting. This team was not supposed to be where they are this year. So they've had a couple of lucky breaks here and there, some bad injuries like Tanaka and everything else like that. They're not like the Mets. You look at their rotation; they're supposed to be there. You look at their bullpen, the back end of the net rotation; they're supposed to be there. The middle rotation, But you look at where they are. You look where the Yankees are. You look where the Mets are, because we are in the New York metropolitan area. The Yankees just weren't supposed to be here, and they are here. So Yankee fans should be rejoicing, jumping on this bandwagon, and hoping it rides out for as long as it is. And with that being said, if they're going to win division, they got to win tonight.
Yeah.
If they don't win tonight, they have to settle for the wild card. And if I were Girardi, I'd be planning to throw everything at that wild card game if they don't win tonight.
Yeah.
You mentioned before when we were talking about Yogi Berra how Scott and I were used to the winning mentality.
Yeah.
2008 for me was the first time the Yankees missed the postseason of my lifetime. That was unheard of for
We're
me.
like, what?
We had no idea.
Dad wins a game. Wait,
Wait, what?
Oh.
Okay. And then same thing with 2013 and 2014. Those years were a little different because we still got to celebrate the careers of Mariano and Jeter, and we'll get to Jeter later on in the show. But real quick about this Yankees team. We mentioned before how, let's say, take a guy like David Wright. He hasn't made the postseason in 9 years. Even guys like Matt Harvey and Syndergaard. When you play for a historically struggling team, you feel like you haven't made the postseason in 9 years. Matt Harvey's been in the league for, 3 years now? And even he feels like he hasn't even made the postseason in a few years. And I feel like some of the Yankees are feeling like that also. I mean, you said it before. They were supposed to be, at best, a 500 team. Mm-hmm. And I think they've clinched a 500 season with about 14 games to go. They could be a 90-win team if they finish out the season hot. They were not supposed to be in this position right now, but with the Yankee fan mentality, the Yankee fan mentality of winning every single year. I think that Yankee fans are neglecting the fact that they weren't supposed to be here because they're so known to the fact that they should be here every single season. So
I'm sorry, I know you were supposed to go, but there's something you also have to remember with this too. And I don't know if I spoke to you guys about it, but I don't know if it was today or no, I think it was today. I was talking with someone about the Giants. I know it's a little off topic, but it's the truth for the Yankees too. Yankee fans and the Yankees have had this mentality of winning, and you've always had that core group of guys who knew how to win and close out games. And that's the same problem that the Giants are having right now. You have a new group of guys there who don't know how to close out a game, who don't know how to win. And I think the Yankees now have enough guys, from different teams or, from their own system that are coming up that don't know how to win and close out those big games. So they're learning on the fly. So now this is in a situation where, okay, you're almost done with the regular season. And then remember, it's 160-something games here. And you're playing some good teams, you're playing some bad teams. You're going to win some games you're supposed to win, and lose some games you're supposed to lose. But now when you get to the playoffs, you have to win those games you're supposed to win, and they haven't played well against Toronto.
No.
Okay, and Toronto's been their kryptonite,
Yep.
and so this is if they can overtake Toronto in the division, then they might have to meet up with them again in the first or second round of the playoffs.
It'll be the championship series, if anything.
Yeah, if so, it's the championship.
Well,
series.
unless with the Royal, we'll
Yeah.
see.
We'll go into the people that you guys that Randy said like isn't used to winning. I'm thinking of Didi Gregorius and Greg Bird, especially
Right.
these two guys that are staples in the lineup. Didi with Diamondbacks, he's not used to it. It's a young team, and coming here with the mentality, you're right. He had to learn on the fly. He had to develop into a player that has to go out every day knowing that they need to make the playoffs, to keep these fans in. And going on to Greg Bird, who's been doing such a great job.
Shane Spencer of 2015.
Filling in for Mark Teixeira. Bird's just doing an absolute amazing job. And he had to learn on the fly, too. He came up and was struggling a little bit, but he found his niche. He was rallying around the team and really providing when they needed.
And he's probably, of the last month or so, he's the MVP of this Yankee team.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt. Greg Bird. He has 10 home runs on the year, 8 this month. I think 7 of his 10 home runs have given the Yankees the lead. I think another 7 of the home runs have been with guys on base. So
Yeah.
This guy has been incredibly clutch, and the guy can play. How many times did we hear, trade for David Price, trade for David Price? This is why they didn't trade for David Price. And 10 years from now, when we're hopefully looking at Greg Bird as a perennial all-star, this is why they didn't trade for a guy like David Price.
Yeah, and I also think too that the Yankees management, say what you want about the salary cap situation that they're in, but there's got to be a point where you say going out and buying every major name player that's out there that doesn't work. So when are you going to start using your homegrown guys and putting them in a situation like Robbie Cano was? The beginning of that season, his first season, he didn't start on the major league roster. I don't know if you guys remember that, but they had Tony Womack as their second baseman.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they started off the first month under 500. Then all of a sudden, they're like, well, we're making some changes. Robbie Cano is going to come up and play second base. And everyone's sitting there going, who the hell is Robbie Cano?
Kano. I saw him in spring training. Who is Robbie Kano? I remember.
All of a sudden, and then all of a sudden he's playing, and all of a sudden you're seeing him and Miguel Cairo sitting there heating up. Oh, yeah, there you go, baby.
Love him.
Throwing back to the old school names. And when I say old school, I'm saying 2004.
Yeah.
So, so you're getting these guys, and they were, all of a sudden you see this camaraderie going, and they saw momentum going, and it's something that the Yankees have not had over the last month or so, is that momentum, and that's the scariest thing about baseball. And maybe it's just my instinct that I'm going to tell you about this story. But in 2006, I was living down in Florida, working for ESPN 790 down there. Not that that's an important part of the story, but I just figured I'd tell you guys where I was working at the time. So the Yankees were playing Detroit in the first round of the playoffs. They won Game 1. Game 2 was rained out. And at that point in time, I was living with my parents, and I said to my father, the Yankees lost that series because of that rain out. So what are you talking about? They're playing Game 2 tomorrow. I said, they destroyed Detroit in Game 1.
What year was this? This was...
06.
Yeah.
Okay? They lost that game to a rain out, wiped away any momentum that they had. Because if you go into another second straight night after like a blowout in baseball, that can just pile on. And you can just ride that momentum and that wave. All that momentum was gone. So Game 2 was almost like Game 1 again, and they lost that game. And they ended up losing that series 3-1.
Yeah. Same thing happened in 2011, I remember.
Yep.
So I went to Game 2 that was supposed to be a Friday night, got rained out, when wound up being Saturday afternoon.
Okay. Momentum in baseball is a very scary thing, and that type of momentum is different from any other sport. We'll talk about the NFL later.
Yeah.
And like the Giants, same thing, had some momentum this weekend. Mm-hmm. The fumble caused the momentum to change. Momentum in sports is the most important thing. The Yankees have not had it over the last month. So this is their chance to put these last string of games together, make a run at the division, because if they can avoid doing a one-game playoff, they have a better chance of going to the World Series.
Right.
That's reality of it.
We said the other day that the worst thing that can happen to this Yankee team is being one game out with one to go, and probably Tanaka throwing. That would be the worst thing that can happen, because if Tanaka throws that game on Sunday against the Orioles in Baltimore, and who knows, And then you have Houston, who's probably going to throw Keuchel in that playoff game. So, real quick preview for the game tonight. Nova's on the mound in place of Tanaka. I don't know what to expect. I have no idea what to expect. Last night was a big.
You sound deeply concerned.
He's always concerned. There's no optimism when it comes to.
I'm concerned because you said before this is the must-win game. So.
Okay, that's fine.
Do you want to take?
Yeah, go ahead. Take the call.
Hello. Oh, hold on. Hello. Who was this?
Yeah, I got a question. I'm calling.
Yeah. What's up?
Are you guys on NFL or are you guys talking the Yankees right now?
Right now, we're talking about the Yankees, but we were just about to get into the Jets. If you want to bring up the Jets right now, you can lead the segue into it.
Okay, no problem.
All right, Jets, big win against the Colts. Big win.
Big win, yeah.
Jets. What was the final score of that game?
20-7.
20-7. Jets defense came ready to play. Who's calling, by the way? What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Danny from Orlando.
Danny from Orlando. All right. I used to live in Oviedo back in the day. Not bad.
Wait, is this Danny from NBA Fast Break, or is this the Danny?
This is from Full Court Press.
Yes, Danny. I know. I can't keep up with all your radio shows, man. This is one of the best NBA shows that's out there on iHeartRadio. Danny is one of the best guys. You guys should always keep, when you guys start going NBA, this is the guy you guys should be going to. So, Danny, thank you for helping me out and joining these guys tonight.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Danny. We appreciate it.
So,
it's good. It's always good that you help out, up and coming journalists. That's what I do down here. So trust me, I know the struggle.
Thanks a lot. How's the Florida weather? I miss Oviedo. I haven't been down there in a while.
Right now it's a balmy, a brisk 87 right now, I think it is.
That is pretty brisk. What is that? Nice little windbreaker you need down there?
Well, I don't know. I'm getting ready to go take my wife out to go see Janet Jackson. So I don't know. I'm about to get dressed up. So
Janet Jackson.
I'm so sorry that you have to sit through a Janet Jackson concert.
no, trust me. This is 3 hours from me out of mine. So it's all good. My question for you guys tonight is, since you're talking Jets and Colts, Jets 2 weeks in a row, they've looked impressive. When Geno Smith gets back, is Ryan Fitzpatrick still the quarterback of the Jets?
Yes, and here's why. They're 2-0 without Geno Smith. There's your answer right there. It's that simple. You don't even have to go into a full analysis of it. If it's working, why change it up?
Yeah, Todd Bowles actually said yesterday, I got this from Bleacher Report NFL on Twitter. Todd Bowles said Ryan Fitzpatrick will remain the starting QB even after Smith returns. If it's working, you keep letting it work, basically.
But I'm going to play devil's advocate to it. If you were out with an injury, you heal up and you really didn't even lose your job. You lost it because you got hurt.
Yep.
I think at that point I think when he comes back, you have to reevaluate the situation. I don't think it's fair to come out and say before he's even back practicing again, saying he's not getting his job back. No, I think we should reevaluate everything to see where he is. Right now, the Jets, again, I always feel that the NFL season, the first 2 weeks of the season, are the biggest fool's gold in the world because we've seen teams go 2-0 and then go 2-14. Yeah. So I'm not buying. I'm not buying the Jets yet. I'm not buying a lot of the teams that are 2-0. I'm not buying some of the teams that are 0-2. Look, Giants lost their first 2 games in the last couple plays of the game. They can just easily be 2-0 and ahead of that division. So I want to wait to see how Geno looks when he comes back. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is a great game managing quarterback. How many teams in this league right now would like to have a game managing quarterback? And that's what he is. That's what he is. Just like Alex Smith. Alex Smith is doing enough not to hurt you, but he's not going to do things that are going to kill you. And that's what Ryan Fitzpatrick is doing right now with the Jets. So if you want my opinion, I think Ryan should keep his job. But I don't think you should rule out seeing what you have in Geno when he comes back.
Yeah. Because I feel like Geno's athleticism is unparalleled to Fitzpatrick's. Right. He can run out of the pocket. And he was just starting, over preseason, he was starting to get this team together. People were rallying behind him.
Marshall loved him.
Loves him, and it would express it all over on his show on Showtime and everything.
Yep.
So what happened to him was just, one of those fate things, I guess. Just one of those setbacks that you just can't really look at from
Okay.
any sort of standpoint. So
Yeah, and the other thing about it too is one injury can change everything.
exactly.
And
yeah.
so, like, before we start in announcing that Ryan Fitzpatrick is the Jets MVP for this year for the way what he's doing for this team, it's still 2 games, and we don't know what's going to happen. If there's going to be an injury, and Danny, you know this as much as I do. Just covering sports in general. Once an injury happens, man, it can snowball real quick. So
Yeah, real quick.
So-
real quick, guys. Hey, I appreciate you guys taking the time and taking my call tonight.
thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you for calling. Get me a burger from Beef O'Brady's next time you go to one of those. I miss it. I haven't had Beef O'Brady's in like 6 years.
Come on down. We'll come get you some beef O'Brady. Come on down.
All right, Danny, take care. Thanks a lot.
Have a good night.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Like I said, he's a guy you guys should be keeping in contact with. When the NBA season starts, he'll help you guys out with whatever you need. So
Well, the 407 freaked
Yeah.
me out.
Because he's a 407
I have a
number. I thought it was
407
like your family or something.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been even funnier if you dialed here by mistake. That to me would have been the funniest thing. Oh, I'm calling in. Okay.
So yeah, New York Jets 2-0, and their defense is right now the best in the league statistically. They've let up 17 points. They obviously played the Cleveland Browns, but they did play the Indianapolis Colts. Andrew Luck, T.Y. Hilton, Andre Johnson. They have a very good offense. So
I want to ask you guys a question, and I want to see how you guys answer this. But are you guys really worried about the Colts being 0-2?
no,
No.
Okay, because they started 0-2 last year and they made it to the
the
championship.
Colts and the Seahawks are the two 0-2 teams that
You're like, all right, well,
okay, they're 0-2.
yeah,
No-
they'll
no
bounce
big deal.
back. Yeah,
Right.
like that's because I'm listening to people and like I'm listening to professionals, people who I know, and people who are like being paid millions of dollars to be
Right.
doing what we're doing right now, and they're like freaking out. And I texted one of those people. I'm not going to say his name. I just will say that he does the 11 o'clock Sports Center a lot. And I said to him, "Why are you freaking out?" He's like, "Well, but it's a big story. The Colts are 0-2. The Seahawks." It's the second week of the
Yep.
season.
Exactly. And people are doing the same
Yeah.
thing with DeMarco Murray.
Yeah.
It's DeMarco
Well,
Murray.
that was a bad signing. That was
Yeah.
a real dumb decision on all parts. Like Chip Kelly, I think that he was actually hired by the Cowboys to take over for the Eagles. So what he pretty much did, he imploded that team from the inside out, and it's comical. I think it's I don't know.
Yeah.
Go on. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I'm not overreacting, but there are a bunch of things to not overreact to. First of all, speaking of Chip Kelly, is Chip Kelly's system a failure?
Well,
2 games is a very small sample size. You're going to judge an entire season based on 2 games?
I think they made a quarterback bad decision in multiple senses. I don't think Sam Bradford is the guy that everybody wants him to be.
Right.
Signing Mark Sanchez was a nice backup pickup. You're gonna think I'm crazy for saying this. I actually like Tim Tebow, so I think Tim Tebow. And he won eight or 9 games, 10 games for the Broncos, and he was able to win a playoff game.
Right.
And all of a sudden, he gets disregarded, saying he's not a quarterback in this league. You know what? Like
You win, you win. It doesn't matter how you win.
a couple NFL players are sitting there saying, "What else does this guy have to do to prove himself?" He played great during the preseason with the Eagles. As soon as they traded Matt Barkley, you thought Tebow made the team, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there going, "Okay, so you're cutting Tebow because you want to try and get Christian Ponder because Minnesota released him." And you still didn't get Christian Ponder, so that it doesn't make any sense to me. So
No.
I feel bad for Tebow. And maybe he'll get another shot if another quarterback goes down.
Cowboys. Imagine.
Oh my God! If that happens, I'm just gonna be like, you know what, Jerry Jones. I hope you never want to wish injury upon somebody,
no.
but you just want to wish uncomfortableness. So I hope they have become very itchy or something, so they're just uncomfortable for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Ryan Moore, Scott Thompson, and Randy Zellea. We are the Beasts of the East. Randy's the guest Beast of the East for the day. Check out Back Sports page. He is the founder of that website. We are on WRPR 90.3 FM. Scotty T, take us through what we need to know.
Our updates for the day. On to Ramapo updates. We got women's volleyball had another dominating performance last night at the Bradley Center. They beat New Jersey City University in straight sets 25-7, 25-10, and 25-12. Larissa Iwascu had 12 kills on 15 attempts, while Emily Guzman recorded 9 kills of her own. The 6-3 Roadrunners will travel to William Patterson tomorrow night at 7 p.m., so check that out. Men's soccer blanked Berkeley College 2-0 on Monday, improving their season to 4-3-1. Ryan Campbell led the offensive scoring, his 7th and 8th goal of the season in the first half. That broke their 3-game losing streak. They're actually playing right now, I believe.
They were playing.
They're playing right now, so hopefully we can get that by the end. Women's soccer also playing at NYU, so we'll check that out later. Ramapo baseball, they'll be welcoming back the players of the 2015 team that we all know won the NCAA New England Regional last spring, which sent them to the Division III College World Series in Wisconsin. Coach Rich Martin invites all alumni, family, and friends to Jeff Munn Field on Saturday to be a part of Alumni Day. Last year's squad will receive their rings in a small ceremony at 1:30. The Alumni Day itself starts at noon. Going on to pro updates, the New York Yankees had a big division win in extra innings last night against the Blue Jays. The Yanks won 6-4 thanks to Greg Bird's go-ahead 3-run home run in the top of the 10th. They trimmed the Jays' lead in the AL East to 2.5 games. Both teams will battle tonight again for the final game of the series and the final game of the season. Ivan Nova, who was sent to the bullpen earlier, will be on the hill tonight against Marcus Stroman. First pitch, 7:07 on the Yes Network. Moving boroughs, talk about the Mets. The Mets lost to the Braves last night, 6-2. Rookie starter Logan Verrett took the loss after letting up 4 runs in the 5th, including a 3-run jack to Hector Olivera. The Mets didn't get hurt from that loss, though, because the Nationals lost to the Orioles. So they still hold a 6.5 game lead on the division with 11 games left. Their magic number is 6. Mets play the Braves again tonight at Citi Field. Cologne and Perez on the bump, 7:10 SNY. In recent NFL news, Cam Chancellor's holdout with the Seattle Seahawks has finally come to an end. They did not agree on a new deal, but he will join the team immediately, and assuming he is in shape, he will play in the Hawks' home opener against the 0-2 Bears. Josh McCown, Browns QB, has been cleared to play Week 3 against the Raiders after sustaining a concussion against the Jets Week 1. He will be starting over Johnny Manziel, who led the team to a win over the Titans last Sunday. And speaking of the Jets, they won on Monday Night Football, as we said before, 20-7. Jets forced 5 turnovers on defense, including 2 fumble recoveries from Darrelle Revis and an interception of Calvin Pryor. QB Ryan Fitzgerald threw for 2 TDs as well. The Jets are now 2-0, which is the first time in 4 years. They will try to get to 3-0 on Sunday against the Eagles at MetLife Stadium. New York Giants were in the news yesterday for cutting Preston Parker to make room for defensive tackle Kendrick Ellis.
Who was a better receiver than Preston Parker, I might add.
You think so?
I'm pretty positive.
Parker dropped 5 passes in the first 2 games, including a crucial 4th down pass that ultimately gave the win to the Falcons on Sunday. The Giants will play tomorrow night against the Redskins at 8:30 on CBS. They will look to get their first win after the first 2 crushing losses. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie and Cruz are both out for that game. Just found that out. Beast to East, WRPR 90.3 FM. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to WRPR Mall.
Coming back with Lil Biggie, obviously, he's the best rapper of all time.
Okay.
Ryan Morrick, Scott Thompson, Randy Zellea with you, the Beasts of the East.
I really appreciate you playing music back from my generation there to bring us back in. I remember when that song came out.
That is timeless. This is timeless music.
You ever see the movie Notorious?
Oh, yeah.
I figured.
I saw it when it was in the
I haven't
theater.
seen it.
Remember the very, you did not see Notorious?
Not yet.
Oh, go watch it. The end.
This is coming from the guy who's
When you
missed
watch
like
61, I'll
major
watch
sports.
Remember the ending where they drive down the cast and that song comes on?
La 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 la.
That is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So the New York Giants are home against the Washington Redskins tomorrow night. Redskins are 1-1. The Giants are 0-2. Thursday Night Football tomorrow night at MetLife, like we said. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie and Victor Cruz are out. John Beeson is probable, which is
A good sign.
Good sign, but he'll probably be out next week against Buffalo. But real quick, we know that the Giants are this close to being 2-0. And we know that they have lost the games from dumb decisions, just to say the least. And I got to tell you, they're 0-2 right now. It's not about how you lose, it's if you lose. It's that simple. The standings they don't grade you based on how you play. There's 0-2. Simple as that. And if they lose tomorrow night,
It's over.
the season's over.
Yeah, it's over. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The season's over. The general feeling at practice, I was like just telling you guys off the air, I was trying to figure out when I was at practice, and I realized it was this morning. That's how long my days are. No Victor Cruz at practice today. It's interesting because, they were this close from being 2-0, and they're not a bad team, but it's an inexperienced defense. You're bringing back a coordinator who led their defense to a Super Bowl back in 2008 against the Patriots, snapping that
18-0.
18-0 is it's amazing, but this again goes back to learning how to win. And this Giants team has to learn from an offensive and defensive side on how to close out games. What annoyed the crap out of me the last 2 weeks, and not saying that Eli doesn't deserve the criticism that he's been getting, and not saying that Donnell and Parker for dropping those passes shouldn't get reprimanded, but it seems to me that the Giants' defense is getting a free pass. They're not getting as much. They're not getting as much fault for the loss against Dallas and the loss against the Falcons. They played prevent defense in the last drive against Dallas, which I thought they should have been attacking Romo the whole entire time.
Right.
One sack would have ended it.
And you have a rookie inside linebacker on Jason Wayne.
Right.
Exactly. You can't play prevent defense if you can't prevent them from catching the ball and running down the field.
Exactly.
20, 30 yards per play.
Exactly. And against the Falcons, look, we talked about momentum before. When that fumble happened, when they were down inside the 10-yard line there, when that fumble happened, I never felt like the Giants got control of the game again. I felt like it was the Falcons' game to win or lose. And they were just sort of playing not to lose instead of playing to win. So tomorrow's a big game. And there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. This was the game last year when the Giants were 0-2. That was their coming out party against Washington on Thursday Night Football in Washington. This time it's at the Meadowlands. They know inside that organization that this is a must-win.
Yeah.
And I expect Eli to have a good game. I expect Odell Beckham to catch passes because the Redskins' defense is not the Falcons' defense, and the Redskins' defense isn't the Cowboys' defense.
Right.
So, and I'm not too concerned about Kirk Cousins. So, if you're a Giant fan, you should be very, very excited and a little bit nervous. But I feel a lot better about this game than I had thought about the last two.
Yeah.
So.
Just going off of what you said with the defense, I think that this defense this week is going to be a lot different than what we've seen in week 1 and week 2. John Beeson is probable for this week.
Yeah.
And I would love to see because he, in my opinion, I feel like he's the defensive leader since Jason Pierre-Paul kind of left. He's got that veteran experience, and he hasn't been able to play this season. Unga's been playing in his spot. But I think John Beeson's going to bring a lot of fire to this team this week,
Agreed.
which is definitely needed after the Redskins' running game last game.
Best Jones available.
Matt Jones available.
I'll tell you that story later.
Yeah, but
I heard you guys talking about this before, so that's why I started laughing.
But I think that the defense is definitely going to have a great game tomorrow.
Well, I'm sorry. I was about to say, but if you also look up and down their schedule, this is a must-win because next week they got the Bills
At Buffalo.
and then you're home for the 49ers, and then you're at the Eagles. So
And then I think you're home against Dallas. So
then you're home against Dallas, and then you're in New Orleans, which is as bad as the Saints have been so far.
It's still a dangerous place to play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then they have the Buccaneers and the Patriots. So it's not going to get any easier.
No.
So this is a must-win for the Giants. And just think about this: they would have won the first 2 games, and then win tomorrow night. Then you're 3-0, and then if you lose against Buffalo, it's not a big deal. Now if you beat the Redskins, now it turns into a must-win against Buffalo to get to 500 because Tom Coughlin splits the season up into 4 quarters,
Right.
and he grades the team on quarters. This can be a big game. I've been repeating myself saying it's going to be a big game, big game, big game. But at the end of the day, Giants defense has to step up. Every part of the Giants team has to step up. Special teams has not been great. there hasn't been as many penalties on the Giants this season compared to the first 2 games compared to last year. I think they said it's 20 less penalties through the first 2 games.
Just dumber penalties.
Just dumber penalties, and not only that, but like you said in the report that Preston Parker got released. He hasn't really done much in his Giant career. Last year he wasn't that great. Look, and you know who the next one to go is if he doesn't start stepping up is Ruben Randall.
Exactly, and I actually saw like you said, a report this morning that was saying that maybe dropping Parker, like you said, he was bad last year. He's been worse even these first two games, but as like a wake up call to Randall and Donnell to say, listen, you got to step up because
Donnell's not the problem though. Donnell is catching balls. Got a touchdown pass on Sunday, which by the way helped my fantasy team. So
Not bad.
go there. Our fantasy guru in the back of the room over here. It's one of those things where Donnell's not the issue. Like Randall has to get open. Victor Cruz going back to be a slot receiver, which is going to be key because up until Odell got here last year, Victor was not playing a slot. He was being the number 1 receiver, and he had alligator arms, wasn't able to catch the ball every time Eli threw the ball. So you don't know what this is yet, but you can't get so far behind and so out of it that you can't dig yourself out of that hole. Right now, they're a 5 to 8 win team if they keep going at this pace.
Ryan Morrig and Scott Thompson, along with Randy Zellea. We are the Beasts of the East on WRPR 90.3 FM. Going back to the defense really quickly. You hit the nail on the head before. You said that the defense is not being put to blame for this. And what's weird is that I think the reason why is because they've been playing great football for the first 3 quarters of both games. And then something happens where they show up in the 4th quarter and then they don't play.
Right, but then you can make that argument saying, well, if the offense converted on their opportunities to score points, then they can play prevent defense and they don't have to be charging the quarterback. So it's like, well, they're not doing their job. Well, you're not doing your job. Well, you're not doing it. So it turns into this big back and forth thing. And it can't happen that way. The defense has the Giants' great pass rush that they had through the last 2 Super Bowl championships. They were not relying on the offense to do anything. The defense was making things happen. They were causing turnovers, but there's no Justin Tuck on this team. There's no Matthias Kiwanuka. There's no O.C. Umenyiora. There's no Michael Strahan. They don't have those standout players. JPP is not playing this year. Okay,
I think his Giant career is done.
You can quote me on this. You can put on Twitter that I'm stating the report. I know for a fact that JPP is not playing this year. So let's get that out of our heads that he's going to come back and all of a sudden make a difference on defense. He's not playing this year.
I don't care if he's bench pressing. I'm making a big deal. Bench, I don't care.
He's busy looking for his finger in the bushes down in Florida. Okay, that's where he is right now.
Danny can help him find it.
Yes. Danny will help him find his finger. Now, let's get. I'm tired of seeing the news reports. And, I have my own feeling on how that whole thing transpired anyway, but there's no playmakers on this defense that's going to make a major difference right away for the Giants to come out there and start winning games from the defensive end. So they got to start working together and stop putting the blame saying, well, defense didn't do this. Well, the offense didn't put enough points on the board for us, so, to defend. So it's got to change. So.
Robert Ayers has been stepping up.
Yeah.
And he's questionable for this game tomorrow, too, but
He's fine.
He's fine?
Yeah, he was at practice.
Randy says he's fine. He's good.
Yeah.
In case you guys don't know, Randy Zellea covers the Giants for his website. He covers a lot of professional sports, so listen to him right now because he knows what he's talking about. Let's get into the Week 3 predictions. We got Brandon and George, the 2 Skippies over here.
They're here.
Picks. Come on.
Come here. Come on down.
This is what we come in for every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday they come in. George, that's Randy. Randy, that's George.
Nice to meet you.
So then,
All right. Thursday night, Redskins at Giants. I am going to go Giants on this one. I think they're going to finally break out of it.
Yeah, I absolutely believe with you.
Write it down. Write it down. Whoa, what are the standings? So we all, I think us three are 500.
Everyone is 15-15 except for me, who's 11-19, because I wanted to be the odd man out.
That's good.
As I said last Wednesday, and that didn't work out.
Nice.
Last week was definitely a tough week for us with all the upsets.
Oh, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
All right, so Thursday, Redskins, Giants for me.
Yeah, the Giants is a must-win. Go Giants.
I'm gonna go Giants.
Thanks. Next.
Giants, we're going Giants.
by the way, I'm going Giants also. So
I would hope so.
Giants sweep, all right. Falcons at Cowboys. I'm going to go...
Romo out?
No Romo Falcons.
I'll go a little bit more in depth on that. I think without Romo, without Des Bryant, without a real running game, still a good offensive line, but their defense needs to stay on the field, and their defense is not that good. I love the Falcons' offense. They have enough weapons. Go Falcons.
Yeah, I have to agree with everything he just said. The Falcons' offense is dynamic this year, and if the Cowboys' defense is only good last year because they were never on the field because the offense took away so much time possession. So give me the Falcons 100%.
I think the elite 13-3 Falcons are back.
13-3 Falcons.
All right.
That's bold.
This is bold.
That's very bold.
Easy
I'm
division, though.
going to say Falcons too.
All right.
I'm going to go with everyone this week. I'm nervous.
Colts at Titans. I think Colts are breaking out of it. Give me the Colts.
Yeah, I don't see Andrew Luck falling 0-3. Titans are still growing with Mariota as quarterback, so they have to learn how to win and go through those growing pains. So I'm going to go with the Colts.
Yeah, I wrote in my article for fantasy football this week.
Wait. For what?
For my uncle's website, fantasy football. Kernack.
I didn't know he owned a website.
Yeah, he just he's starting to back up.
Attaboy, Stevie.
Yeah, no, I wrote for his article this week for fantasy, and I said I love Andrew Luck this week for fantasy, even though he struggled the first 2 weeks. There's no way he can play as bad as he did, and he plays two of the toughest defenses in the league. So give me the Colts to win this one.
There's just no way Luck goes 0-3. So Colts.
And Colts.
The best game of the week: Raiders at Browns. Give me the Browns, just because the Raiders are the Raiders. So Browns. I mean, the Browns are the Browns, but you know what? I'll go. Browns.
It sounds like you had to convince yourself to do that.
It's very tough.
I think this will be the most watched game on the NFL ticket for this week. The Browns, you got to go with the Browns. McGowan is back. I think the team has a different feel with McGowan in there. They have a little bit more trust because he's gone through much. And the Raiders just can't find a way to get out of their own way. So I'm going with Cleveland.
I'm gonna take the Raiders. They beat the Ravens last week, and the Ravens held Peyton Manning's Broncos to offensively 9 points, or no, 12 points. So, and Derek Carr and Amari Cooper, but Michael Crabtree looks like he is better than ever. Honestly, I'm gonna take the Raiders to beat the Browns this week.
I'm going to take the Browns just because they're at home. And that's the only reason why.
Yeah, pretty
No,
much.
I'm actually going to go with Brandon too. I want to say the Raiders. I think they played very good comeback football on Sunday, so I'm going to go with Brandon and say the Raiders.
Bengals at Ravens. I'm going Bengals.
Yeah, there's just something about the Ravens I just don't trust yet.
I never
Flacco.
trusted the Ravens.
I actually feel different about Flacco. I think he's one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. But I think losing Suggs on that defense has really hurt that team and took the heart out of their defense. And Cincinnati's a more well-versed team, so I'm going to go with Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Definitely Cincinnati. Like Harbaugh said, the Bengals might be the most talented team, top to bottom, in the league this year. So give me the Bengals, definitely.
I like Flacco a lot, and the Ravens are 0-2, and I think they're going to be pissed after a loss to the Raiders, so I'm going to take the Ravens.
Good point.
I'm going to go with the Bengals. I always loved Andy Dalton. I don't know why. I just loved them.
Not much reason.
All right.
I don't know why.
Jaguars Patriots.
Red
All
Rocket
together now.
Yeah, this is easy for the Patriots.
Yeah.
All right, we'll skip that one.
Okay.
We'll skip that one.
Patriots.
Saints at Panthers.
Nothing.
Anyone else want to start that off? Because I don't want to be the guy to start it
I'll
off.
start it off. Why not? You know, it's funny with the Panthers. They actually like Cam Newton actually looks like a different type of quarterback so far this year. I'm seeing him throw the ball a lot, and the Saints are just not really a good road team. There's something about the Saints this year that look like maybe by sending Jimmy Graham to Seattle, they seem to have lost their heart a little bit. So I'm definitely going to say the Panthers over the Saints in this one. The Saints just are not the same juggernaut that they once were.
Yeah, you could see that Breeze, when throwing down the field, he can't really reach his receivers more than 40 yards down the field, and that's where they hit their big plays. Panthers get Luke Kuechly back. They're at home, and the Saints are not a good road team, like you said. Give me the Panthers.
I completely agree. I take the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Panthers too. Drew Brees with his arm right now after everything that just happened. So, you know what? Cam Newton's playing good football right now, which we haven't seen. So I like Cam because he constantly goes on streaks. So I'm going to go with Cam.
Eagles at Jets. Jets are going on 3-0. Jets win.
You know what? Chip Kelly and the Eagles, their backs are against the wall. They have a lot of interesting pieces on that team. I wouldn't go past the Eagles winning, but for the fact the Jets are hosting and their defense is one of the top in the league, I'm going to go with the Jets. I'm going to say this is a slight victory. This one, I'm looking at this as this one could go really either way.
Yeah, you said it before, and I was in here when I came in before that. You said Bradford is definitely not the quarterback for this team, and it looked like during the preseason, it looked like he was amazing. He was playing great against the Packers in the preseason, but the Jets look like a great team on both sides. Honestly, give me the Jets to go 3-0.
I'm a Jets fan. I think Chip Kelly's going to figure it out.
Jets.
I'm going to pick the Eagles. I think they win by 10 plus. I think it's a really bad
10
matchup for the
plus?
Jets.
George, you sick?
Jeez.
Take Advil.
And that's a Jets fan.
George,
think it's a
George,
bad
eat a
matchup.
Snickers.
Jeez, no, I'm gonna go with the Jets. Jets great running defense this year. Marco Murray's not gonna have an inch on the line again, so I'm gonna go with the Jets.
Bucks at Texans. I am gonna go Texans. I don't know. That's tough. Texans.
Yeah,
Texans,
that's
just Texans.
Supposed to be
Also not
deliberate.
playing.
I know.
The Texans are trying to figure out their quarterback situation. There's something about the Bucks. I just don't like Jameis Winston, but I still think there's something about that team that if they get a decent quarterback, they still have enough weapons. They have a decent running game. They have good receivers. And the Texans just seem like they're still all over the place, even though they do have J.J. Watt, who's like the monster of the NFL. I'm going to go with the Bucks over the Texans. If I slightly though.
Yeah. Mallett shouldn't be throwing the ball 60 times a game. That was a terrible mistake against the Panthers. They need to run the ball more, even if it's not effective. If Foster plays, Texans definitely win, but right now it looks like he's still day-to-day. I don't know if he's playing. I'm going to go Buccaneers. Go Jameis Winston.
I'm going to take the Bucks too.
I'm a Penn State guy. My brother went to Penn State, so Bill O'Brien, I believe in you. Texans.
All right, nice. Chargers at Vikings. How cold is it in Minnesota right now? Is it cold? No.
No.
It's warm.
All right, never mind then. Yeah, give me the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm a Phillip Rivers fan. I think that he's probably the best quarterback from that class that hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. He's one of the best best quarterbacks in the league who hasn't won a Super Bowl. No faith in the Vikings yet. I don't believe in that team. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers definitely bounced back from a not so good offensive performance against the Bengals. Bridgewater looked good against the Lions, but they always do. I'm going to go Chargers.
I think the Vikings could beat them if they call the right plays and give AP the ball, but I don't think they will, and I think the Chargers will win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers, too. I think Melvin Gordon's going to rip apart that defense like Carlos Hyde did, so Chargers.
Steelers at Rams. I really like the Rams a lot this year, but Le'Veon Bell is back, so Steelers.
I just think the Steelers have too much of a talented team. As much as I really like the Rams as an upcoming team, love Foles as their quarterback, but Steelers.
Yeah, that was a disappointing loss to the Redskins last week. Le'Veon Bell back. Steelers, no doubt.
I'm going to take the Steelers. They're overpowered.
Yeah, Steelers, too.
Niners at Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals. They are, I think, they're honestly one of the most underrated teams in the league. They could win the division. They have the potential to win at least 12 or 13 games easily.
Love the Cardinals. No trust in the 49ers. Didn't even know who they were fielding during preseason. So, Cardinals, great coach. And Carson Palmer's been one of the best quarterbacks when he's been on the field. Last year he got hurt. Team suffered. There's nothing else to be said. Cardinals all the way.
Yeah, Palmer's 15-2 in his last 17 starts, so that's all I need to say. Go Cardinals.
I actually think they're the best all-around team in the league, and I'm definitely going to take the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Cardinals, next.
Bills at Dolphins. I'm going to go Bills. The Dolphins' offense hasn't really done much, and I don't think they will. Bills.
I think the Dolphins are pretenders. I don't see anything positive coming out of there, even though Tannehill's got a new contract. So I'm going to go with the Bills.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor's been very good this year. Besides the 3 interceptions last week, he's been very good. So give me the Bills to beat the Dolphins.
I completely agree, and I think the Dolphins are one of the most overhyped teams that I've ever seen, and I'm going to take the Bills.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins. No, don't. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I think Tannehill's going to hook up with Landry a lot, actually. Mm-hmm. Even with that ankle, I think he's going to fight through. He's a fighter.
Bears at Seahawks.
No Jay Cutler might actually give the Bears a chance. But I think the Seahawks are pretty annoyed that they're 0-2 right now. So
yeah, the Seahawks definitely win this game.
Seahawks.
Yeah, Cam Chancellor coming back. I think that's going to put a lot of faith into that secondary again. So definitely Seahawks.
Broncos at Lions. I'm going to go Broncos. I think they had a good win last week. Momentum's going to carry Broncos.
Something's off in Detroit. I don't know what it is. Stafford is not playing like himself. The team seems like they're just struggling a little bit. This would be a good game for them to get out of their funk, but Manning and company seems like they're still rolling with nitro gas, so I'm going to go with Broncos.
Yeah, the Broncos defense has been probably, if not one of the best, if not the best defense in the league this year. Stafford is very unhealthy right now, so give me the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Broncos. Peyton's not the old Peyton, but he's still a great quarterback, yeah. So
Because Peyton isn't the old Peyton, I'm going Lions.
That's fair.
That's
All
fair.
right. Monday Night Football, Chiefs at Packers.
I'm going to differ and go with the Chiefs, and the reason why is they seem like they're a little bit more of a complete team. I'm one of the people who really feels that Aaron Rodgers is one of the more overrated quarterbacks in football. One of the big things with him over the last few years has been, he has a great percentage and he gets a lot of yardage just because they've had no running game, and so they have no choice but to throw the ball. The year after he won the Super Bowl, they lost to the Giants in the playoffs. Again, he was the MVP, but he didn't have a running game to support him, nor the defense. I'm still not on Aaron Rodgers' bandwagon. I'm going to go with the Chiefs because they have a more complete team.
Yeah, you always hear analysts say how is Aaron Rodgers so good but he's only won one Super Bowl. I guess that maybe you're saying there's a reason. There's a reason why. Maybe he's overrated. I personally do not think so. I think he's the second best quarterback in the NFL right now.
It's the biggest debate that I have with everybody. When there's people in this industry who I look up to who say the same things that I'm saying, and I know that my argument is valid.
Yeah, no, your argument is definitely valid, but Packers at home, Chiefs just blew a terrible loss to the Broncos at home. Really could have stole that one. Give me the Packers to win this one.
I like the Chiefs, and I have a strange feeling that they're going to win. I don't know why. That's just my feeling.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs, too. I think Jamal Charles is taking that loss on himself, and he's going to have a great bounce-back game. So I'm going Chiefs.
Those are your Week 3 predictions. Me, Brandon, and George have the lead, 15-15 apiece. Scott, you stink. Brandon, George, you kids have fun in class. We got about 2 minutes left. We were going to talk about Jeter, but Scott and I are going to talk a lot about him on Monday because Monday is the anniversary of his last career game. But we mentioned before, Derek Jeter. We mentioned Yogi before. He's the icon back then. Jeter's our icon, to say the least. You really can't say a bad word about him. I went to his last game. Role model growing up, plain and simple.
Scott, you see what he's doing, right?
Yeah. He's adverting.
He's adverting. He's getting out of admitting what movies he has
All
not
right.
seen.
And I swear I was going to bring it up.
Here's an exclusive. Ryan.
Randy, all right. Take a guess at movies I've not seen.
Okay, if you have not seen the movie that I'm about to say, I'm stripping you of your sports fandom, and you will have no dignity left.
I don't have dignity.
Okay, you don't have any dignity. Okay, so did you see Rudy?
Yes.
Okay, you were allowed to call yourself a sports fan.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
I saw
so
Rudy.
can I tell you what movie he hasn't seen?
Go for it.
Ryan has not seen Space Jam.
I've never seen Space Jam.
Okay, what other ones? That one, I'm almost.
You tell. To me, that's just huge.
I'm
Growing up as a kid,
I'm disappointed in you on this, but I feel that.
You want to hear worse?
Yes.
Sandlot.
Oh no way!
Okay.
There's no way.
You've not seen. You've
Randy,
not
it was
seen
nice
Sandlot.
meeting you. I know he's not going to come back on it.
I've never seen Sandlot.
No. I think I would like to introduce you to the host chair. Okay, because until you watch some of these movies, you're banned. I think you might have to be banned.
Sandlot?
I know.
I'll take a spy.
It's bad. It's
whatever.
really. I've never seen.
How about
this.
Field of Dreams? Did you see Field
Yes.
of Dreams? Okay. All right. You're gaining some points back here.
Not all of it.
Not all of it.
Hoosiers.
All the way back down.
What about Hoosiers?
No.
I own Hoosiers. I own all of these. I need to
Coach
get back
Carter,
to you.
never seen. Like Mike, great movie. Calvin Cambridge. You know I have. Have you ever seen Like Mike? You know I
And
have.
you're losing more points as you're going along.
Well, do I lose points when I tell you that I have the Calvin Cambridge jersey?
That's embarrassing. Bro.
Oh my
Why
god.
is that embarrassing?
Because you don't know who Benny the Jet is yet. You
I
have
know who
Calvin
Benny. I know who they
Cambridge
are.
jersey.
Brian McCann looks exactly like the fat kid.
I want to bang my head against this desk and knock myself out right now. Listen. There's certain. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a list, and I'll send it up to you guys for Monday I'll give you the list tomorrow, and by Monday he has to watch at least 2 out of the 4 of the movies.
Two?
Agree.
I
No,
don't
you,
have time on my hands.
yes, you do.
I really don't.
Yes, you do. You don't have to listen
You
to
are
the
not.
show.
I am making this decision. You are not allowed back on the air on Monday unless these movies are watched.
Deal.
I'm making
Deal.
this decision for you.
Deal.
Final
All right, I
words?
won't. We don't even have time for our
And like Mike is not on that list.
Like Mike is a great movie. L.A. Nights. L.A. Nights, baby.
Oh God.
But yeah, I've never seen The Sandlot.
You've never seen The Sandlot, really?
Never seen The Sandlot.
And you call yourself an American?
Kind of.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in into this show, Beasts of the East. Today is September 23rd, 2015, WRPR 90.3 FM. Beasts of the East, Ryan Warwick, Scott Thompson, and Randy Zellea. We will see you back here, hopefully. Scott will be here. Randy might have to take my spot. I'll keep you posted, because if I don't see The Sandlot, then I'm probably in big trouble.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send a SWAT team after you.
I'm just staring at you right now.
Like, you should see the evil glare. This is why we have to get WRPR TV back in here, just so you can see. He's about to jump over the desk.
This time it might be goodbye, but usually it is not goodbye. It is see you later. Take care, everybody. So long.